No! What's up, my cool dudes? I'm Dylan Dude, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile. Today I'm going to be profiling an updated Hunder deck profile for you all, because I got so much feedback on the last video that I changed the deck around. It's more consistent now, so figured I'd bring you guys an updated build. Without further ado, let's get started. I run 3 copies of the Wattcobra. All Watts I play in the deck have an ability where they can attack my opponent directly. And when Wattcobra inflicts battle damage via a direct attack, I add 1 Watt monster from my deck to my hand. So with Cobra, when it inflicts damage, it searches out any of the other Watts I play, making it extremely viable and a must-have at 3. Next up, I play 3 copies of the Wattgiraffe. When Wattgiraffe inflicts battle damage via a direct attack, my opponent cannot activate spell traps or monster effects until the end of this turn. So you do want to, in the battle phase, if you can, you do want to attack with your giraffe first. Attack them directly, get the damage off, and then they won't be able to do anything to stop your plays for the rest of the turn. So it's a must-have at 3. And next up, I play 2 copies of the Wattpheasant. Wattpheasant, when it inflicts battle damage via direct attack, I can select 1 face-up monster on the field and remove it from play until the end phase. Really, it just gets rid of anything I need, especially if I've got non-Watt monsters on the field and I need to want a direct attack for some more damage. Wattpheasant can remove those monsters and allow my other cards to go in for some damage. So I did cut down the Hunder engine a bit. I now run double Mahunder and double Pahunder. I used to play 3 of each, but double of each is so much better. I was also testing out 3 Ma, 1 Pa, but that just didn't work out because I run triple Thunder Seahorse, so I can never search out the Pahunder if I've used up all 3 of my Mahunders. So 2 and 2 really works a lot better for me. 3 and 1 may work better for you, but this is just my preferred ratio. Also, each one of them, each one has the same effects, where once per turn I can normal summon 1 level 4 like Thunder type monster from my hand, except this card. So Mahunder I can summon anything but Mahunder, Pahunder I can summon anything but Pahunder. So it just gets extra monsters out. You can summon this, get your Watt out, go for some heavy damage. Well, I guess I wouldn't exactly know what heavy damage this deck just focuses on chipping away at your opponent's life points and locking them out of their place. Next up, I run triple of the Thunder Seahorse. As I said, this is the main reason I run 2 Ma, 2 Pa. Just so much more consistent with the deck. This guy searches out any. I can discard this guy to add 2 level 4 light Thunder type monsters with the same name, except Thunder Seahorse from my deck to my hand. But unfortunately, the downside is I cannot special summon the turn I use this effect. But really, that's not much of a problem because I have plenty of cards that'll protect my Watts until next turn, where then I can go off on plays. Okay, next up I run 2 copies of the Thunder King Rai-Oh. Thunder King Rai-Oh, neither player can add cards from their deck to their hand except by drawing. During either player's turn, when my opponent would special summon a monster, I can send this card from my grave to the field to negate the special summon and destroy it. So pretty much Thunder King, it's also a 1900 beta, so even by itself it is difficult to get over. So much more difficult, in fact, with all the extra protection you are running in the deck. So to him is definitely a viable way to lock your opponent out. Next up I still run the double Honest, because protecting your Watt monsters is extremely important in the deck. it's also, Honest is just a staple in many light decks, light attribute monster decks, so I can't see a reason why you wouldn't play double Honest. Okay, moving on to spells, I have 3 copies of the Messenger of Peace. With Messenger of Peace, monsters with 1500 or more attack points cannot attack. It's not really a big deal in this deck because there's only, 6 monsters with more than 1500 attack points in the main deck, and even then, that's not that bad. Because really, you use Thunder Seahorse for discard fodder, and you don't really worry about attacking with Thunder King anywhere, unless you actually need to anyway. And with Messenger of Peace, I have to pay 100 life points during each of my standby phases, or destroy this card. So it's really just there to protect you while you get your plays off. Keep it on the field permanently to make sure that your opponent can't attack you. Next up, I run 3 Pot of Duality. This is pretty much for even more deck thinning. With Pot of Duality, I can't special summon the turn I activate Pot of Duality, and I can only use 1 a turn, but it's just deck thin so much. I can get easy access to resources. Even if I get a Thunder Seahorse off this, it ain't that bad because I can't special summon anyway because of Pot, so Thunder Seahorse is not affected at all when I search it out with this card. Okay, next up I run 2 copies of Recycling Batteries still. If I had a third, I would most likely bump it up. But with Recycling Batteries, I can add back 2 Thunder type monsters in my graveyard with 1500 less attack, which once again is everything but 5, not 6. So I can pretty much get back any resources that I have expelled otherwise. Next up I run 2 Dark Holes because Dark Hole is just clearing boards is very important in this deck. 2 MST just to get rid of some back row that could slow you down. And moving on to traps, I run 3 Threatening Roar, 3 copies of Waboku, and then 2 Mirror Force. With these cards are just here to protect your Watts. Protecting your Watt monsters is an essential part of the deck. Threatening War of Waboku are just there to make sure that my opponents can't get attacks off at my life points. And with Mirror Force, if they attack, they're losing their board unless they're unaffected by card effects. Okay, and the final trap I run is an interesting tech choice I got from one of you in the comments section. I can't remember who it was, probably should have looked it up before the video, but that is the 1 Ring of Destruction. With Ring of Destruction, it does have that cost where you take damage as well, but with all the life point all the different cards to protect yourself with, that is really not much of a worry with this deck. And with this card, it's during your opponent's turn. I can target one monster with attack that is less than or equal to my opponent's life points. Destroy it, and then I'll take damage equal to its attack, and then my opponent will take the same damage I took. So with Ring of Destruction, you'll have incredibly high life. You'll still have almost all your life points for the amount of stall you have with this deck, so it's not too bad. Especially after chipping away with your Watt monsters for a few turns, you'll have your opponent's life points will be low enough to the point where you can just use Ring of Destruction and blow one of their big guys out of the sky and end them for game. Okay, let's move on to extra. I still run the 2 Starliege Paladynamo, the 2 Constellar Omega, and then for other, I did as you can see, I did ditch the Violent Prisms because someone pointed out that they were slowing down the deck. I started playing a bit more and I kept realizing, yeah, this is not the way it should be going. So, and you don't really need an extra deck in Hunder, so these are just extras to help you go off on. These are just extras. I run one Gagaga Cowboy, one Sky Pegasus, one Maestroke to Symphony Djinn, one Fairy Chigo, one Diamond Eye Wolf, one Castel, one Silent Honor, one Photon Papilloperative, one Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, one Utopia, and one Utopia Lightning to round off the extra deck. Okay guys, I am hoping that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please show your appreciation by smashing that like button down below. Let me know what you think I could still do to improve this deck. And let me know what decks you actually want to see in future videos. I am working on a few. I'm trying to work on Dynamist for our first spellbook, so hopefully those will get done soon and I'll be able to show them off to you. So until next time guys, catch you later.